Welcome to my views and news. Today's third video, viewers. In this video, we'll focus only on one question. Is there going to be an imminent ceasefire in the ongoing Tigray-Ethiopia war? Because an hour ago, an analyst, Rashid Abdi, who is criticized by pro-government circles as pro-TPLF, that he is pro-TPLF, that he supports Tigray. He claimed that Ethiopian PM Abiy is going to announce unilateral ceasefire imminently. Is there any possibility of announcement of a ceasefire? Unilateral ceasefire? If it happens, what could be Tigray's response? Rashid is seen as pro-Tigray and he does not hide his loyalties. He clearly says that Tigrayans are suffering, Tigrayans are dying, and activism without any objectives means nothing. So he is not, he's very vocal regarding his support for TPLF and Tigray, for the people of Tigray as well. Now, I want to make just a few points about this claim made by Rashid. Firstly, as we have been discussing since the start of this new phase, on the 24th of August, new phase of war, that unity is missing in the Amhara region. I spoke about different splits in Fano, that some Fano factions are not actively heading to front lines. Gondar Fano, Gajjam Fano are silent mostly. East Amhara Fano is fighting. In the Amhara region, the mobilization which we saw last year is missing this time, firstly. Secondly, last year we saw that almost all regional forces were involved. Ethiopian government tried to create national unity in the fight against Tigray Defense Force. And we saw regional forces from the Somali region, from Oromia, from BG, from Sidama, from SNNPR, from Addis Ababa, all became part of the fighting. All regions sent their soldiers to participate in the fighting. So Ethiopian federal government tried to create national unity. This time, no such call. Last year, Ethiopian government imposed state of emergency. This fight against TDF was treated as a situation which required announcement of state of emergency. This time, so far, no announcement of any state of emergency. Fourthly, Eritrea viewers. I have been saying that Eritrea would like to be part of this war, this new war, third phase, through a proxy. So far, there are no Eritrean boots on Ethiopian soil, on Tigray soil. Eritrea is reluctant. There could be different reasons, problems at home or international pressure, because Tigray has been calling for action against what Eritrean troops did last year. Tigray has been calling for accountability of Eritrean troops. So they might not be in a position to be part of this war once again. There are different reasons. Eritrea seems to be reluctant. That is why perhaps Ethiopian National Defense Force had to cross into Eritrea. Otherwise, Eritrean forces could have attacked Shiraro from Eritrea. They did not. They allowed their soil to be used. It means that Eritrea is reluctant to be openly part of this war. Uh, PM Abiy's forces are defending, but the need of the forces, can it be met? Can the needs be met? Because in some videos we discussed economic conditions. Ethiopian economy is in shambles. Ethiopia was expecting loans and grants from International Monetary Fund, World Bank, EU, US. Ahmed Shide was in talks with financial institutions, and now this war has broken out. And if this war goes on, the economy will come under more pressure. And 2 days ago, Ethiopian government it asked all Ethiopians to contribute money for this war. And a decision made some time ago has been announced now that the banking sector is being opened up to foreign investors, because Ethiopia needs foreign investment. If this war goes on, who will invest in Ethiopia? So indications are there that Ethiopian government is reluctant about how to counter this situation. Is Ethiopian government prepared for a protracted, long war? Are such preparations being seen on the ground? That government is making preparation for a long war, protracted war. Such preparations are missing. Having said that, if Ethiopian federal government announces ceasefire today, tomorrow, how will it be received? If you remember, last ceasefire was announced in March. That ceasefire was announced after some meetings through mediators, direct meetings, and the two parties agreed on a ceasefire. Tigray forces withdrew from afar. Aid delivered to Tigray improved. So that announcement was not unilateral, though Ethiopian government announced first, then Tigray also agreed. This time as well, if there is announcement of ceasefire, it will be with some input from Tigray as well. I personally think that US has a key role in the resolution of this conflict now. Mike Hammer is arriving in Ethiopia today, viewers. He might have arrived, I think. And he is arriving on a week-long visit. As I said earlier, Ethiopian government is in need of loans, grants. And for that, the US-EU role is crucial. And US has leverage on Tigray regional government as well. US role is very critical in this conflict, in this third phase of the war. And if Ethiopian federal government announces a ceasefire, I don't think it would be unilateral ceasefire. It would be after some mediatory efforts from international community, especially from the US, and Tigray will also be consulted. But is it imminent? I don't think that in coming hours we could see announcement of a ceasefire. Because overall situation is very fluid, almost on all fronts. Tigray has made some gains in Wollo, but we cannot say that Tigray has controlled strategic places like Western Tigray, Humra, Volkaya Sagade. No gains on Western front so far. And secondly, we must not forget that Amhara groups, some Amhara diaspora groups, they have been complaining, they have been accusing that PM Abiy is conspiring against Amharas, that Wollo is being given to Tigray fighters and Wollo will be used as a bargaining chip in talks. Ultimately, Volkait will be given back to Tigray because TDF is in control of Wallo. So this conspiracy theory is being floated for some days after the start of this new escalation. That shows that there is mistrust in the Amhara region. Mistrust between Amhara groups and PM Abiy's federal government. We must not forget Oromo Liberation Army. While ENDF withdrew from Oromia, you saw what happened there. OLA suddenly started making territorial gains. From Western Oromia, Oromo Liberation Army has entered Central Oromia. Now fighting is ongoing in West Shiva, Central Oromia. And OLA will definitely move towards Amhara region, towards the North Shiva zone, towards Oromia special zone of Amhara region, if this war goes on. OLA was under pressure for more than a month. Operation was ongoing against OLA, but after the start of this conflict, the OLA has come out of this pressure. This operation, this war in northern Ethiopia is a respite for Oromo Liberation Army. OLA has intensified its operations from western Oromia towards central Oromia. It could try to enter Amhara region as well. So overall situation, if you analyze, is that long war, protracted war does not suit Ethiopian federal government. This is the time to stop this war, because if it goes on for a few days, for a few weeks, then perhaps it would be difficult to stop this war. So maybe that is why some consultations are underway. So let's see what happens. The analyst who broke this news is definitely against Tigray's agreement with this ceasefire, if it is announced. He seems to be suggesting that if it is announced, Tigray should not be hoodwinked by it. And under international pressure, Ethiopian government could make such decision, but PM Abiy's government does not mean peace. So he is not against Tigray's approval of this ceasefire if it is announced. But I think if a ceasefire is announced, it will be announced with approval, with the input of Tigray regional government. A long war does not suit anyone. So let's hope, let's pray that ceasefire is announced. Mike Hammer's visit is very crucial. For a week, he is going to be here in Ethiopia. If his visit fails to deliver any results, then it means we are moving towards a long, protracted conflict. Thank you for watching.